You came in thinking you were overloaded because you're not good at boundaries. And that's not what it is. We don't get more handed to us because we're undervalued. We get more handed to us because we are the ones who will do it right. My question to you is, how many times have you been the one people look at for the answer? The capable ones are the ones that carry things in silence because you can. And then there's this inherited shame around not getting it done. And so you're working late, you're waking up with your laptop on your chest, and then you're saying, but I got it done because I'm capable. And there's this pride of like outworking people. But then you're super tired and you're burning out, and then you're not happy. That's not what we're here to do in this world. Life is to be beautiful and romantic and soft and easy.
Sabrosura pa' ti que.
Hola, hola. Welcome back to Café con Pam, the bilingual podcast that celebrates the power of our stories, the medicine in our voices, and the magic of reclaiming who we are. Pull up your cafecito, que este episodio es para ti. Bueno, yo soy Pam Covarrubias. I'm your host, and today we are going to talk about why the most competent woman in the room is the most overloaded one. ¿Por qué? This is not an accident, a coincidence, or a compliment. By the end of this episode, you're going to have a name for it, and you'll know what to do on Monday morning, which is probably when you're listening to this. We're going to take us back to my time in corporate. It's the heaviest time of the season. We have a deadline. So I used to work in an industry that was regulated and it had huge deadlines. So if you missed the deadline, then you could face like big fines. It was stressful. So right at this moment in time, it's winter, it's deadline day. I was in charge of operations, and my team had worked so hard to get packages out. The thing is that if you've ever worked in a business that ships at volume, you have scheduled trucks, you have a relationship with all of the shipping companies, and they know that they need to come at a certain time to pick up all your packages because you're going to have so many. So usually they send a big truck to pick up your stuff. So in this case, that day, we had so many packages. We had probably in the warehouse, I don't know, 30, 40 people, a combination between full-time employees and temporary workers because we had to bring in temp workers during the heaviest season. And, anytime you bring temp work, you have to train people. It was chaotic. So this day specifically, we had to meet a deadline to ship the products because our customers needed to have them in the next couple of days, and they needed to be picked up that day. So the USPS truck shows up. The driver says, "You have 5 minutes," because I'm en route to pick up other people's packages. And I'm like, dude, like, give us 20 minutes. Like, hang out, give us 20 minutes. We're almost done. And he was like, look, if it was summertime, I would wait, no problem. But it's winter. It's when everyone wants to get their packages out by deadline. So I'm so sorry, Pam. I can't wait. So at that moment, he gets back in his truck. I mean, we can't stop him. Everyone turns to me and they just look at me like, okay, now what? So he took what was done, but we still had some packages to finish. And without hesitation, I said, I'll drop it off. Now, mind you, the drop-off location was the opposite way to my house. And I still volunteered to go. My car was full of packages. I was driving away from home. It was late, like 8 p.m. I know it was dark. I remember it was dark. I was driving. I don't like driving at night. And so I remember driving at night because, astigmatism. And so I was just annoyed at myself. Like, why did I volunteer? I had a sedan. Like, there were people with trucks that were going that way. Like, what? The next morning, I woke up with my laptop on my chest. I had fallen asleep working. I woke up frantically realizing that I had to be back at the office. I packed snacks from my own kitchen that were probably expired because I hadn't had time to go grocery shopping. So I didn't even have lunch. Then I kept putting out fires until my body quit. My body was like, you need to stay your ass home. Now, I want to clarify here. What I'm saying is don't go get sick because I didn't know better at the time. We need to stop romanticizing exhaustion. That's not the point. What I'm hopefully modeling here is what not to do is to realize that getting sick is not the strategy. Getting sick is actually what happens when you don't build a strategy. And I didn't have one. I was just going with it because I was the reliable one. When I think about it, nobody asked me to pick up the packages. They looked at me to come up with a solution because I was in charge. And I volunteered, but I wasn't told to do it. This is why when we are told just set the boundary doesn't work for us. Because at that point, I didn't have a request to decline. My competence is what answered before anyone asked me if I could deliver the packages. While I was home being sick, the department didn't fall apart. The company kept shipping. The team kept working. The packages got delivered. Everything got handled. And what I realized is that the team was capable. They were always capable. They had been capable the whole time, but they didn't have a reason to prove it because my reliability was subsidizing everyone else's slack. Think about it. Competence is the qualification. We don't get more handed to us because we're undervalued. We get more handed to us because we are the ones who will do it right. And this is a conversation that I have with first gens all the time, and we take pride on it. I mean, listen, I could go back and quote so many people that have said, I will outwork you because we are the capable ones, but we're also the overworked ones. So, my question to you is how many times have you been the one people look at for the answer? And in a really twisted way, it feels good. Like as a first gen eldest daughter leader, people looking at me like, all right, Pam, what's gonna be the next thing that we do? I was like, oh, look at me being the reliable one, the capable one. Look at me, the one solving the problems as I always have been. Pero lo que no nos dicen es que this is calladita culture wearing a work badge. This is the eldest daughter, the youngest eldest daughter who was praised for not needing anything, who then grew into the woman who gets everything and does everything and saves everyone. Hay conversaciones que nos enseñaron a callar, y dinero was one of them. Pero here's the truth. Tu dignidad financiera no debería depender de que traduzcas todo para tu mamá, tus tías, tu abuelita o quien sea. Savvy Ladies just made it easier than ever to get financial help en español. Their free helpline means your mama can ask a question without you having to translate shame, confusion, or whatever her comadre told her. Talleres, clases, consejos, todo completamente gratis y con el respeto que nuestras familias merecen. Porque libertad financiera no es lujo, es necesidad. So whether it's you or your mama who's ready to take that first step, go to savvyladies.org. That is SAVVYLADIES.org. Empieza hoy. La dignidad financiera no se pide, se reclama. You know what's frustrating? Losing your wallet. And sometimes what's even more painful? Realizing your almost full punch card from your favorite cafecito spot is now gone. But at least, even when your cafecito points have vanished, at BMO, if you lose your debit card, they'll print you a new one instantly at a local branch. Plus, you can use your phone to freeze your debit card to prevent any unauthorized transactions. Learn more at bimo.com. Conditions apply. Accounts provided in the United States by BMO Bank and a member FDIC. When was the last time someone said pajamas required and actually meant it? 10 years ago, I started Café con Pam using a microphone from a retired rapper, way too many feelings, and zero proof any of this could work. Well, here we are. It did work. So on October 10th in San Diego, we are throwing it a slumber party, a real one. And here's the part that I'm so excited about. I'm teaching the workshop I needed 10 years ago. The one that teaches your nervous system it's safe to build, to grow, to take up space without bracing for it all to be taken away. Then we record a live episode with an incredible guest. Your questions in the room out loud, in your pajamas, fed by an actual chef. Warm citrus marinated olives, gluten free corn dogs, the whole artisanal spread. Oh, so excited. It's called Diezvelada 10 years, one night. Grab your tickets, get on the list before it's gone. Come as tired as you want because we're staying up anyway. I'm just kidding. It's just from 6 to 10 because I'm a señora. You know, we go to bed at 10. Head over to cafeconpam.com/10. cafeconpam.com/DIEZ. Yes. Let me tell you now more examples so you can hopefully self identify, which maybe with my own story, you've arrived there. But the reason why I'm doing this episode is because I've had these conversations a few times in the last few weeks, and I think we need to talk about it. So one of my clients, she has a counterpart. So they essentially have the same role. They deal with different teams. And he makes the same money as she does, even though he's been in the role less time. Okay. He took time off, and leadership meeting said, don't call him because he's off. When she took time off, she kept getting phone calls. Different policy for different phones. I have another one. She is an EA. So she's an executive assistant who was hired for one chief. Now she's reporting to four chiefs. And we've worked on asking for help. The response, there's no budget, but there's budget for four executives. What do we do when we are in those situations where you know you're the most capable one? You know you could outwork people, which I think on one side of the coin is something to be proud of. Yes, we are the people that will overwork everyone. Like we are hardworking. We will get things done. We are ¿cómo se dice? Not persuasive. We persevere. And on the other side of the coin, it's exhausting. I've talked to, I mean, including myself, it got to my body saying, you can no longer get up. You have to rest. You're on forced rest because you cannot continue to self exploit yourself. Nobody's asking you. They're looking at you because you're capable. And then you're making the choice to self exploit because you can. So, what do we do? Well, numero uno, you make the load visible. So, if you are the capable one and people come to you because you can get it done, you want to also build something, whether it's a board. I had a client who literally, when they do an in person, they go to the office. So everyone in the team is present. So she built a physical whiteboard with all of the things that she's working on, all the projects. So anytime she's handed something, she tells people, what if this doesn't get done so I can get this done? Everyone can see it. There's complete buy in. So everyone is involved in the process. You cannot be the only one carrying it. So whether it's a virtual board, a physical board, a document, a project tracker, whatever it is that you need to build, not only for yourself to measure your capacity in many ways, but also for others to see all the things that you're carrying so they can realize that they don't have to hand you more things to carry just because you can handle it. When you show people, it allows you to now the boundary be a co-creation. I have 10 things on my plate, you're adding an 11th one. I'm only capable of doing 10. What comes off so I can get your thing done? And let people choose. Let people pick. So this is more of a managing up type of process. And the point is for this to be a collaboration, that's teamwork, right? Now, something important to note is the tracker is not a productivity tool. The tracker is your evidence. The tracker is there to show the invisible be visible. This is there to let somebody else make the decision so you are not with the burden of not just solving it, but also deciding it. So remove the idea of this being an efficiency tool or a productivity tool. It's not a productivity tool. It will help you, but at the end of the day, it's more about creating, showing the invisible, making the invisible visible so others could see all of the things that you're carrying. Because the capable ones are the ones that carry things in silence because you can. And then there's this inherited shame around not getting it done. And so you're working late, you're waking up with your laptop on your chest, and then you're saying, but I got it done because I'm capable. And there's this pride of like outworking people. But then you're super tired and you're burning out, and then you're not happy. That's not what we're here to do in this world. Life is to be beautiful and romantic and soft and easy, not for you to carry your laptop home and wake up with it dead because you fell asleep working, sending an email. What's important for you to notice here is that when you build the invisible visible, then it will show you without getting sick what you've gotten handled and what you simply don't have the capacity to do because we're not robots here. So it's one tiny step. Today, I'm showing up quick and snippy with one tiny thing that you can do. Make the invisible visible. Show people all the things that you're carrying so they can help you decide what needs to come off so you can add one more thing. We can talk about delegation next if you want to. We can talk about assertiveness if you want to. Let me know. But I think there's been enough conversations lately in my world that I think this episode is important because if I'm having it with at least 4 people, then probably there's more of you out there dealing with it. So, you came in thinking you were overloaded because you're not good at boundaries, and that's not what it is. What I'm hoping you're leaving is knowing that you're overloaded because you're actually great. Because you are so capable, no one's ever had to ask, acomedida. Have you heard of that? I remember when I was growing up, there's this pride on being acomedida. I had a friend in high school who she was the most acomedida like ever. And literally, I she would come over to my house and I'm I'm an eldest daughter, right? So my siblings they're 6 and 7 years younger than me, and so when she would come over to my house, they were you know, when you're young like, right now when we're adults, you can't really tell the difference, but when you're kids I mean, I'm 15 and my siblings are half my age, right? So, she she would come over and the little kids were with their friends, so there's a house full of little kids and her and I, and se ponía a recoger, you know, se ponía like, we would eat dinner or whatever. I mean, of course, like single mom, so we had to take care of a lot of things, but pero se ponía a limpiar, se ponía a recoger, and my mom was like, "Oh my gosh, I love her because she's so acomedida," and she would tell her like, "Ay, me encantas, me caes súper bien porque eres bien acomedida, te va a ir muy bien en la vida porque eres bien acomedida." And I'm like, "Ugh, then I learned to be acomedida, which is what made me the capable one. So we grow up with that praise, pero al final de cuentas, that ends up biting us many times because el ser acomedida like we self-exploit and we overwork. And so the goal of this episode is for you to understand, for you to remember. I think you understand it, but it's for you to remember that the overload is because you're so capable. People depend on you. So now you know. Now you can see it coming. You have the awareness because your reliability is uncompensated. That's it. It's not necessarily a character flaw. It's simply uncompensated because we've let that happen, because we have pride in being acomedidas. We have pride in being capable ones. So make it visible. Make the invisible be visible. Show people all the shit that you're carrying, that you're like, you know what? I'm going to give you some of these rocks that you keep giving me so you can help me carry them too, or help me decide. I can only hold so much in my hands. Cool? If you want to add something else, then what marble needs to come off? I'm using a lot of words. Tell me what you think about this like short episode. If you recognize yourself in that room, if you're the comedida or if you're the capable one, if you're the one that people look at when there's a solution that's needed, remember that this is a conditioning that taught you to answer before you were asked. Es el ser acomedida, and this started when you were little in the kitchen, or it started when you were taking care of your primos y primas. And it's not a bad thing. It's just simply we want to reframe it into your capacity, your capability to not necessarily be unrewarded. Bring people in. Cool, you want me to do more? What less could I do so I can do that? Y ya. Bueno, espero que te haya gustado este episodio. If you want more, if you want less, if you want me to talk about whatever else may have come up, please send me a message. I love getting them. Also, take the Calladita Culture quiz. It's free. It will give you the wound that you carry, and it will give you some options on what to do different when you uncover that wound. cafeconpam.com/quiz. Nos vemos a la próxima. Gracias por estar aquí. I live for your letters, so send me listener letters. I read them and I build episodes off of them. So being the capable one, remember, being the capable one doesn't mean that you have to do it all. Stop saving people. People are not projects. Bueno, nos vemos a la próxima y como siempre, sigue brillando. Café con Pam is created con mucho amor by our small but mighty team. Content production by Nancy Jaimes. Podcast management by Maru Linardi. Social media and marketing by Brenda Figueroa. And me, your host, Pam Covarrubias. To keep the cafecito brewing and the healing flowing, join the Supporters Club for only $5 a month and access early episodes, behind-the-scenes vibes, and exclusive minisodes you won't hear anywhere else. Screenshot this episode and tag me and share what resonated. I love seeing your takeaways. Follow on your favorite podcast platform and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Let's keep the conversation going with us on social media at Café con Pan Podcast, because your voice always matters there. We love being on Instagram and Facebook. Gracias for listening to Café con Pan, a Spread Ideas Move People production. For more episodes, guest info, or resources, visit cafeconpam.com. And if you're healing from calladita culture and don't know where to start, you can take the quiz. cafeconpam.com/quiz for tia wisdom and cariño just for you.
Sabrosura pa' ti que